Total Retail's sister brand, Women in Retail Leadership Circle, is proud to announce the release of the 2020 Top Women in Retail Report. The 10th annual list features 36 top women and Women on the Rise honorees, representing the leading women executives in retail today. Download your copy of the 2020 Top Women in Retail list today at mytotalretail.com/resources. Women in Retail Leadership Circle members can access the report by logging into their account at womeninretail.com/research.
Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hi, and welcome to episode 238 of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, Editor-in-Chief of Total Retail. Joining me today is Gail Buffington, Vice President of Marketing and Analytics at Soft Surroundings. Soft Surroundings is a retailer of women's apparel, shoes, and accessories. We're going to be discussing how Soft Surroundings is using email and SMS messaging to market to its customers. Thanks for joining me, Gail.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
So a good place to start would be to have you briefly tell our audience about Soft Surroundings for those that might not be familiar with the brand.
Sure. So Soft Surroundings is a women's apparel retailer. We actually started out as a catalog mailer in 1999, launched our website not too long after that, but did the primary bulk of our business through catalog. About 10 years ago, we started opening stores, and then about 5 years ago, we really started going into high overdrive on opening stores. We're currently at 80 stores, with number 81 opening in May. And our catalog business and e-commerce business are still going strong. We still continue to add to those. They continue to make up over 50% of our business, even with the strong store base we've opened.
So you mentioned, obviously, the catalog and the website business and the e-commerce business are national. How about those stores? Are they clustered in any particular area of the country?
All over the country. We're in 32 states. We primarily started in the Mid-Atlantic and Southern regions, but we've expanded out to be just about everywhere across the United States.
Great. So the next one would be to have you tell us briefly about your role with the company. When you joined Soft Surroundings and kind of your position at the with the retailer.
Sure. So I joined Soft Surroundings 6 years ago. I started out here managing the e-commerce and digital team. Over time, I took on the duties of managing the circulation and print marketing teams as well, public relations, a couple other of our marketing level functions, and then added on our analytics teams to my role as well fairly recently. It's kind of a natural progression because our company is a really data heavy and data intensive company. So for us, analytics and marketing go really hand in hand. And with my background being more in the hard sciences, adding the analytics piece to the marketing piece was really a natural progression for us.
Yeah, that data piece in terms of the analytics and the marketing, and we're going to touch on that a little bit, and leads into the next question around automated email campaigns, and specifically, the types of campaigns that you're sending, and how you're developing those campaigns in terms of the data behind them. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Gail?
Yeah. So email has always kind of been our bread and butter in terms of a marketing vehicle. Our customers are really comfortable with it. We have a good, solid list. So, it's kind of natural that would be one of the first areas that we'd look to really enhance by making extremely good data-driven decisions. So automated campaigns was something that we were using even as long as 8 or 9 years ago, but we really amped up in the last 3 to 4 years. So prior to our more expansion into the automated email campaigns area, we were doing the typical things you would think of for automated campaigns. Our transactional emails for shipping and order confirmation, cart abandonment emails when you've left something in your cart, and maybe a couple other, minor pieces there.
Mm-hmm, yep.
What we really wanted to do was capture a lot of that audience when she's at the point that she's either at the brand awareness stage or where she's lower in the funnel and actually getting closer to transaction. So we added a lot more things to kind of bridge that area. So we didn't just have things at the very end, the cart abandonment where she's already put something in her cart. We wanted to kind of nurture her through that process. So we looked at a lot of data that told us that a lot of customers were browsing but not necessarily carting things. And what we wanted to do as our first step into really expanding the automated email campaign was to catch her at that browse phase, sending out browse abandon. So maybe she's browsed a specific sweater, so we'll want to send her an email with sweaters, maybe not necessarily the sweater she was looking at, because maybe there was a reason she didn't cart that sweater, but other sweaters that might catch her interest. We also wanted to expand into things like price drop alerts. So did she look at something? Did she maybe even cart it, but hasn't come back to it? And now it's been reduced in price by 20%. We want to notify her of that to get her maybe a little more enticed to come back for that product. So a lot of our automated email campaigns have really been around going all the way from when she first visits the site, all the way through the purchase, and even after the purchase, doing thank you campaigns after she's purchased and win back campaigns when she hasn't come back to purchase in a certain period of time.
Maybe you want to talk a little bit about the engagement you're seeing with these automated campaign emails versus what you would traditionally see in more of a promo standard marketing email to your audience.
So when we were first doing real basic automated email campaigns, I would say around 85 to 90% of our email business was strictly in traditional marketing and promo emails. And as we've increased this up, it's actually gotten closer to 50-50. So, we can still put a lot of effort into our marketing and promo emails because we have a lot of really good and really enticing creative that we love to use in our emails. But again, they're also very labor intensive to do. With this, we've been able to increase that balance so that our automated email campaigns are doing a good piece of the work for us, and we can concentrate on really making those traditional promo marketing campaigns really the best they can possibly be, while also, having plenty of revenue to support the email program through our automated campaigns as well. So that's been one of the really big wins for us in increasing that out.
And just in terms of frequency, how often are you reaching out via email to your customers? And obviously you're layering on this automated campaign if they're browse abandon or cart abandon or shipping and whatnot. So talk a little bit about kind of the volume you're looking at.
So we actually have segmentation on our promo emails as well. So, maybe a customer that's very highly likely to convert or very highly likely to click could get 5 or 6 emails a week, where someone who's in that more mid-range would maybe only receive 3 to 4 emails. We do have a frequency cap, so even the best of the best customers aren't going to receive more than an average of 1 per day because we don't want to oversaturate that.
Right.
But we do have a pretty broad range within our email file of people who are getting as low as just maybe 1 email per week if they haven't clicked or opened an email in a while, all the way up to the people who are basically getting daily emails. We've got a lot of range in between as well.
Yep. So I then wanted to touch on a little bit about what Soft Surroundings is doing, as I mentioned in the opening, with SMS. So that's something that you've recently entered into. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of the brand strategy for that channel?
Well, SMS has really been a giant surprise to us, honestly. Our customer demographic is a little bit older. Our average customer age is 60 years old. And so for a while, when SMS first started popping up on our radar a few years ago, we didn't dismiss it completely out of hand, but we were a little hesitant to try because we thought, this is really something that I don't know if our customer is ready to accept yet. When we actually started it up, we decided to kind of give it a trial run. We were absolutely amazed by how quickly our customer really latched onto SMS. We got our first 100,000 subscribers within 4 months of starting up our program. It was a really just incredible adaptation by our customer to jump onto that. We've noticed now that our customers are so likely to engage with SMS. We can send out an SMS message and our active users on the site will often triple or even quadruple. It's the quickness with which they respond and how high the open and click on those SMS messages are really is still a bit astounding to us.
Yeah, and what are the different ways that you're trying to generate those opt-ins to the SMS program? Are you doing that in store, I would imagine on the site, in the catalog, all those different ways that you're trying to get people to opt into that program?
Yeah, we've been trying to kind of hit that basically everywhere we can. So we have it on our email receipts from the store. We have it signage in the store. We have it on the site when you come in from a mobile device. We have it layered into some of our Facebook ads. We have it basically kind of everywhere. Since we've found this to be such a really fruitful channel for us, we've been trying to get it in front of as many eyes as possible.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. So then let's go back to kind of the data portion of this in terms of what are you looking at as you're, to help inform these marketing sends, whether it could be email or SMS. Maybe there's some similarities between the two and maybe differences between those two channels. What are your thoughts there?
In terms of the data for that, there is a certain amount of overlap because, we do think of email and SMS as both being similar in some ways. So they have what I would consider a short tail. So, you send them out, you're going to get a flurry of activity really quickly, and then not very much after that. So you have to be constantly thinking about what's going to be the right message at the right time and how can you quickly capitalize on that. So a lot of what we're thinking about is planning out our strategy by which things are going to make the most sense at what points in the calendar and really putting things along there. Now with SMS, we also have to think about things like how we're going to segment out our sends. If we're doing something that is a really important driver for something like a major promo, we actually need to segment and stagger out our sends because we don't want to overwhelm our site because, again, customers are so quick to jump on those. With email, of course, we've got a little more of a little bit longer leash on things like that. But with email also, you're doing things where you're telling a story. So when we're thinking about the data-driven aspect of that, we're not only thinking about what makes sense in the calendar at what times, but we're also thinking about what is the perfect creative that we have to go with this to really tell a story to a customer to entice her to come in, and how are we going to segment that to the proper customers. If we've got an amazing story about jeans and we've got the perfect creative to tell it and we really want to bring all those pieces together, email's a perfect platform for it. Whereas SMS, you're character limited, you've got a very short window to tell things, so you've got to be direct, you've got to be focused, and you've got to be completely upfront about why she needs to click through now. So there's definitely a challenge with trying to make the value proposition in SMS really forward-facing and great, while with email, you're trying to get that value proposition out there, but also tell an immersive and experiential story.
Yeah, so the email kind of lends itself a little bit more to that storytelling that you're talking about, while SMS is kind of that immediate interaction that you're looking for, and less of the kind of the storytelling, I would imagine.
Yes.
So then you're working with ListTrack for these for your SMS and email campaigns in terms of the platform. Can you maybe talk a little bit about the business benefits that Soft Surroundings has realized as a result of working with ListTrack here?
Absolutely. ListTrack has been really great for us on the execution strategy and the data side. So one thing that I especially like about ListTrack that has been an amazing jump forward for us just in the last couple of years is the addition of their predictive analytics suite. So when we were doing segmentation for email and SMS before, it was usually on things like, okay, predilection for purchasing in this category, as in they've purchased from jeans in the past and they've opened an email in the last 60 days. So there's a lot of data there, but to really take it to the next level, what you need is something predictive. So maybe you want to say someone who's bought jeans in the last 6 months and is also in the most likely group to click. And so being able to add that on gives us a really new level to our segmentation piece to really make sure that we're getting the message in front of the right people at the right time. Similarly, their segmentation piece is excellent. It really is quick and easy to use. We had used a couple providers before we moved to ListTrack in terms of segmentation, and it was really labor intensive and difficult to get exactly what you want out. With ListTrack, I'm basically pushing a couple buttons and getting out the exact audience that I want and immediately being able to action on that. So between having the data for the traditional segmentation plus layering on that predictive analytics, I really feel like we've 100% upped our game on being able to get our messages in front of the people who are most likely to respond at the right time so that we can be really smart about sending messages and not just oversaturate with everything.
Yeah, and those tools, that predictive and the segmentation tools, the predictive analytics, it's to your point, it's leading to more relevant emails and SMS messages, which in theory, and I would think the results are bearing this out, you're seeing, increased engagement with those campaigns, leading to, more conversions ultimately is the end goal, right?
Absolutely. And our email revenue has been up dramatically. I mean, even in a channel that was relatively mature for email, it continues to have high double-digit growth every year. And of course, SMS being a newer channel, I feel like we haven't even scraped the surface of getting to anywhere near where the ceiling is going to be on what we can do with that channel, especially as we layer in new pieces like adding transactional SMSs, adding delivery notifications, adding all of those different pieces as well. So we can not only keep the customer informed, but by keeping her informed, we're also keeping her engaged and keeping us top of mind with her.
Yeah, so that's a perfect segue into my last question, Gail, in terms of kind of looking ahead. What are some of the ways that, Soft Surroundings plans to use email and SMS? You mentioned you're just kind of scratching the surface with that channel that maybe it currently isn't doing, but something that it's looking to do in the future.
Yeah, definitely transactional is really high on our list. We want to be able to add in the ability for our customers to opt into transactional and delivery notification messages through SMS. That's on the radar for not too much later today. I mean, not today, this year. This year. So we'll probably have that rolled out within the next quarter or two. In terms of email, a lot of what we're doing has been in terms of getting those automated emails a really nice creative refresh and working on A/B testing in things like changing the frequency of automated emails, changing the gap between getting one email in a series and another email, and then really digging a lot deeper into predictive analytics. We've been using that we used it throughout 2019 and into 2020, and I think there's so much more we can do with that, even getting to the point of using things like how do we engage best with someone who's listed predictively as someone who's most likely to unsubscribe? What's the best way to engage with that? Is it to go ahead and send something to them, giving them a reason not to unsubscribe? Is it to bring down their frequency? I think there's just a lot of testing we can do, and we're a company that loves to A/B test, so we're really excited about all the testing opportunities there are.
Yeah, and just kind of to continue to optimize both the email and the SMS program. So
definitely.
Great. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Gail Buffington of Soft Surroundings for joining me today. Please check out our podcast channel page, mytotalretail.com/podcast, for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher, but make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. Also, please take the time to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and I look forward to you joining us on the next episode of Total Retail Talks.
Total Retail's sister brand, Women in Retail Leadership Circle, is proud to announce the release of the 2020 Top Women in Retail Report. The 10th annual list features 26 top women honorees representing the leading women executives in retail, as well as 10 Women on the Rise honorees, who are all-star executives primed to become tomorrow's industry leaders. The list features exclusive interviews with all honorees, offering an introspective look at some of the brightest minds in the retail industry. Download your copy of the 2020 Top Women in Retail list today at mytotalretail.com/resources. Women in Retail Leadership Circle members can access the report by logging into their account at womeninretail.com/research.